So thank you so much, Araceli. Go for it.
Yes. First, I want to thank you, Beatriz, and the English as a Foreign Language interest section for having me here. And well, this idea came because we know that writing and publishing is important for the TESOL professionals. So we had this idea to start this academic writing guiding program, and we hope that we can help you in your publishing purposes. Let's start. Yes. Okay, good morning. For me, it is good morning. It is good morning. I am in Mexico, and I am in Mexico in a city called Puebla. Beatriz has been here, the chair of the English as a Foreign Language intersection. She's here. She has been here, and she has seen, of course, you know that this picture probably is not accurate, but that is how we see our volcano, the volcano that is near our city. So everybody, good morning. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, I work in a public university here in Mexico. It's a big university, and at the same time, I have been working with several journals. These are the journals where I collaborate. And Lenguas en Contexto is the journal in my university. It is a humble journal, but it is indexed in Latinx. I am the editor-in-chief there. And of course, we are going to have a call for publication soon. I also collaborate as an editor in the Mestizo Journal. I am an associate editor, and the Mestizo Journal is an international journal, and it is in Scopus, and it is Q2, so it is very well positioned. Yes, you don't have to pay for being published there. And also I collaborate, well, in fact, my term is finishing soon, but that will give me time to do some other things. Yes, my term in the TESOL Journal is finishing this month at the end of June. I am an associate editor. I am in charge of the materials and media and books reviews. Yes, so I have had, or I have been in touch with these publishing processes for some years now. And I hope that you all have the same opportunities I have had along my career. What are the objectives of the session? First, to raise awareness on the importance of doing research and publishing. Give attendees an overview on the publishing process in our field in English as language teaching. Encourage attendees to write and publish their work. And we are going to talk a little about our proposal as the EFLIS. Yes, that is what we are going to see today. I hope we have time and to cover these points. And also, please feel free to write in the chat or even to open your mics and talk to us. We will really welcome your questions. Let's start with the demands on teachers. Oh my God, yes, we are under a lot of demands. We have to be in the classroom. We have to be learning all the time. That's why now teachers have to be researchers, and more recently, teachers have to be writers. Yes, I know that in many places, the same as in Mexico, universities are asking teachers to write. In fact, sometimes bonuses, rewards, economical rewards depend on how much you publish. So it is very important. And that's why here from the EFLIS, we want to help you a little, if we can, to achieve this goal. Why? is it important to do teachers research? Why is it important that teachers do research? Well, sometimes if we see it as a demand, it is going to be overwhelming. But when we see teachers research as part of professional development, it is going to be a little less stressful, a little less overwhelming, because by doing teachers research, teachers can explore their teaching. They can know their students in a better way. Yeah, sometimes we don't have time to know them because of time constraints, but by doing research, we can understand, we can learn about our students a little more, of course, to learn more, to find solutions for problems. If we systematize our learning, we are going to learn more, we are going to find solutions, but at the same time, we are going to learn how to do research, to find a new perspective to an old problem. Sometimes what happens in the teacher's room? We complain about students, we complain about authorities, but by doing research, probably you can find new perspectives to an old problem and not only complain, we can find solutions. Sometimes we need to do research to get a degree. That is the truth, yes? And people need to do it. And why is it important? All teachers around the world have powerful stories. Let us know about your stories. Tell us your stories. We know that you have powerful stories to share. But let me tell you, doing research is always relevant and important. It doesn't matter where you teach. All classrooms are singular, and also all teachers can do research. Yes. Teachers need support. Teachers need support. Sometimes what they say is that they don't have the resources, they don't know where to start. They need research skills. They need to learn about academic writing. Of course, teachers always say that they do not have the time to do research on top of teaching, preparing lessons. Well, what can I tell you? You know about this. So we thought that probably by mentoring, helping you, you will feel more motivated, and this is our way to support teachers around the world. Creswell, 2012, created these basic steps in order to do research. And the first step is to identify a research problem. And I know that all of us have problems, have identified situations, phenomenon in our classrooms. Then, instead of just complaining, as I said, in the classroom, what we can do is to review the literature, to find an objective, a purpose, research questions for the research, collect data, analyze and interpret those data, and then report and evaluate research. And what is that stage? That stage is, of course, publishing. Yes, so it's not, this is a different way to see research and publication. Why do universities expect, demand, well, universities and other institutions demand teachers do research? Because one, or the final step in the research cycle, is to report, to spread the word about what you have found. If you do not report, if you do not present, that's why we need to go to presentations. That's why we need to share, to tell people what we are doing, what is happening in our classroom, is because that is the last stage in the research process. Yes, that is what that is why it is necessary to do it. So now you have lots of arguments, lots of justifications, lots of reasons why to pursue research, and also to publish those results, to publish what you have learned. So that's why, yes, why do teachers and students write or publish research or other papers, not only research? Why is this need to publish so strong? Because first we need to share results. We will never know what you did. We will never know how you have overcome or solved the situation if you don't share your results. Let us know what you are doing. Let us know what is going on in your classrooms. Of course, as we said before, to complete the research cycle. I always tell my students, we don't want to torture you in your final dissertation and your final presentation. Is because it is necessary to do it, to complete that research cycle, to contribute to the field, of course. As I said, all teachers have powerful stories. All teachers have something to say. And of course, to be part of the community of ELT authors. Yes, when you see your name, in the next to or with other authors, that is really nice. Of course, to graduate as a requirement or as requirements of postgraduate programs. And even in Mexico, for example, undergraduate students have to do a research paper and they have to write kind of a thesis, yes. To study a postgraduate program, of course, in some schools, you need to be an author, you need to publish to get a promotion. To be somebody in the academic virtual world, have you searched your own name? Have you Googled your own name and what comes? Wouldn't it be nice to see your name next to academic publications? Yes, to be read and cited, that is also important. You give some steps and other people build on what you have done. But also, of course, why not? For yourself, for our own self-esteem. It is good, it is so nice. It's a nice feeling to have our name on a well-written academic paper. And you all know this. Yes, you all know that now they say publish or perish. This is a very common statement, very common phrase. But when we see all these reasons and all these arguments, we are going to feel more motivated to do it. Yes. So this is not the way I feel about publishing. I know it's a lot of work, but let's be more positive than that quote. How do you feel when you think of writing? Can you write some of your feelings in the chat? How do you feel? It's not easy to see the paper, a blank paper, a blank piece of paper, and you know that you have to fill it with how many words? We will see, we will get to that. Yeah, but how do you feel when you think of writing? Can you write in the chat? Not confident, right? Yes, of course, not confident. Somebody else? Publisher Paris is exactly, yeah, right. That is too harsh for students. They need a gentle persuasion, encouragement. Yes, thank you, Joan. Exactly. That's why I say that is a very common quote for people to pursue publishing. But yes, it is too hard, too demanding, too overwhelming for students. Yes, and I would love to write, but feel confused. What's really required? Yes, time consuming, of course. Yeah, you are absolutely right. Yes, all of this is true. Yes, and let me just read. I think there is another comment. Well, okay. Time consuming, overwhelmed. Yeah, yes, that's absolutely true. Yeah, I can say that I also feel anxious when I see that white paper, black paper, but at the same time, it is always, it is identity, your stress. Yes. Okay. Yeah. As you can see, most of us sometimes associate this writing with negative feelings, and that shouldn't be like that. Yes. We all have to start writing. We need to have a positive attitude. Why? Because what we are sharing, what we do, we are not, we are just supporting our own steps with the steps of somebody who has done something previously. So you are never going to be wrong. Yes, there are formats, there are some formalities we have to continue or to follow, but there we have to start. And you are writing about what you know, which is your own experience, your own classroom, your own students, and that is valid. This is what I usually, yes, exactly, no, what I usually hear from teachers or students. And thank you for writing. Yes, problems. Well, people say publishing is not easy. Well, I know that Joanne, you know probably a little more about this or a lot more about this, yes. And publishing is not easy, right? But there are ways to start, and that's what we are going to see today. Publishing takes too long. That's true also, yes. If you want to start publishing, you have to start from the very, from an early stage in your career, because it might take probably from an average from 6 to 2 years, 6 months to 2 years. Yes, it is not easy to do it. It is not a fast track to publish your work. Not all journals are reliable, free, or indexed. This is a common claim, yes. Sometimes you don't know if they are predatory journals, if sometimes people have to pay to be published, or probably they don't have the indexes, the right indexes to be accepted by their universities. Of course, sometimes teachers say, the first thing is they won't accept my paper, but that is something that will happen, will eventually happen. I can promise that. If you try, if you persevere, yes, they will accept your paper. Yes, yes, thank you, Mohammed.
Yeah, I've seen, yeah, can I?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, I have seen some journal publishers, okay, their acceptance rate.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at it, it's okay, they reject too much, okay, the acceptance rate actually.
That's,
so may
yeah.
I...
Yes, tell us. Mm-hmm.
I think your
I know this
microphone
max
is muted.
Tisol, the rate.
We cannot hear you, Mohammed.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now, yes.
Yeah. So when I see these journal articles, the publishers, their acceptance rate, it's very, very low numbers in usually. So what is the acceptance rates for this Max Tisol journals?
I would say probably it's 30, 40%. Yes, of all, yeah. But I will let you know a little about the process. Yes, I will let you know a little about the process of this, the publication journal, because it's a little different from other journals, and Beatriz knows about this. It's a little different. So yes, exactly. They won't accept my paper, and some teachers say, I don't know how to write academically. Of course, this is a valid, all of these are valid claims, because because there is a way to do it. Yes. And how can you start? You have to start with the first steps, baby steps, we would say. Yes. I found this meme. Yes, people who think that publishing an article is not a big problem. Some teachers say, "Oh, come on, you can write, you can do it. It's easy." And the people who have actually published an article, yes, because you have to go through the process in order to know what it really takes. Yes. If you don't know, you can say it's easy. It's piece of cake. I can do it whenever I want. I can do it, but it is not like that. It takes time. It's time consuming. You need to develop skills. You need to know how to approach journals, how to reach your goals. Yes. Let's start with some, if you want to add, please feel free. The people who know about this, John, probably Loki, probably Ing, Beatriz, if you want to add, if you want to say something, please feel free. You will help me a lot. What are the characteristics of academic writing? Of course, your text has to have cohesion, meaning that it's a story. When you write, you are telling us a story, something that is happening in your classroom, of course, or in your academic life. Of course, it has to have a format, it has to follow certain guidelines, but make it interesting. We want to know about those stories. It is interesting. It's a story, you know. Coherence, it should make sense to you and to the people who read it. It must have an intention. What is your intention in writing that paper? Of course, you have to pay attention to the audience, to your target audience. It has to be accepted as the text it says it is. It should have information, valuable information. It has to be appropriate for the situation, for the journal, for what you want. Yes, clarity. Sometimes, you know, it's clear for you, but you should always put yourself in the eyes, not on the shoes, in the eyes of the readers, and see if you understand what you are doing. Remember that experts say that the text should defend itself. When you send your text, when you send your article, your chapter, whatever you are writing, the text should defend itself. You don't need to be there. It needs to be so clear that nobody needs to make interpretations. It needs to be so clear, simple, and objective that we are not making different ideas or trying to guess what the author is trying to say. Of course, as it is academic writing, there must be this accurate element. Yes, you have to do your homework, read, find the work of people who have done research on your topic. Yes, you have to be very, very, very clear. It must be original work. Remember all of these ethical considerations. It should be ethical, but you should also think what your contribution is, what you are trying to add to the field. Some practical tips, and this is only because these are some of the issues that I see a lot in academic writing. These are only examples of what you can do later during the program. be objectives. Yeah, sometimes, especially novice writers use a lot of pronouns, I, you, we, and sometimes when I am reading, they tell me, you do this, or as you know, and I say, I don't know. when I read this in a paper, I say, no, don't tell me I know, because probably I don't know. Or as we know, who is we? Where are you counting me in your writing? We, or for example, many times teachers write, we as teachers, if I see that expression, I really doubt that the person has these writing abilities. Yes, so limit. There are places, there are sections where it is important to say or to use these pronouns when you justify your work, when you give your conclusions, but not all over the paper. Do not use slang. Remember that the audience is international. Once your manuscript, your text is online, you never know who's going to read it, probably in a country far from where you are. And so please do not use slang, or phrasal verbs are not academic. Yes, try to find synonyms to those phrasal verbs. No contractions. I have seen a lot of papers with contractions. Something very, very important that you have to consider is to match the title, the objectives, and your instruments. So you are going to have this really well put text. Yes. When I teach research in my university, we always have the title, and from those, we always follow what this is your title. It has to match with your objectives, with your research questions, with your instruments, that really match, or everything has to be in agreement, in accordance. Something also very important is that sometimes people want to publish their thesis, but a thesis or a dissertation or a research paper is not an article. An article needs work. Yes. First, for example, you need to update the sources. When you present, when you defend your thesis, your dissertation, probably from the moment you do this to the moment you publish or submit your paper, sometimes it's even years. So you have to update your sources. You have to follow the format that the journal is giving you. So probably you are thinking, you are saying, well, yes, it's easy to say, and I agree. It's easy to say, but then we are going to, part of our proposal is that we are going to help you. We are going to be your company in the process of writing an article for Global Neighbors. Global Neighbors is the EFLIS, the English as a Foreign Language intersection newsletter. There, that is a very smart way to start your publishing journey. Yes, you can start by writing an article. Probably Beatriz, you can write the link to Global Neighbors in the chat. Well, if you find it, and if not, we can send it later.
Yes, no, I will do it right away.
Yes, thank you so much. But you can, and also if you can help me if there are important or relevant comments in the chat, I will appreciate that, because I sometimes get inspired and I just keep going and going. So let me know when there is something, or there are some important comments in the chat, and feel free to ask, to make a comment. We will welcome your participation. Okay, this is how you can start. This is the way many authors have started their journey. Yes, I really encourage you to write an article. Yes, and for example, 1,750 words. Honestly, that is not too much. Yes, that is not too much. And as you can see, I wanted to include the general guidelines because these are very similar to journals all around the world. Yes, this is what they usually ask for. And look, clarity, clear professional prose, APA. So these are normal requirements from most journals. These are the editors of Global Neighbors. If you want to get in touch with them, we will be very happy to receive your submissions. And what is our proposal? Our proposal, this is an idea that the chair of the intersection and I developed in order to help novice, especially novice writers, in their first steps in this task. And we call it the writing mentoring. Probably you can choose your journal. We are encouraging you to start with Global Neighbors because that can be a good experience for you, and then you can get your confidence. You can improve, you can increase your confidence, as you wrote in the chat that you feel you don't feel so confident to start, but you can also choose your journal. Yes, you can also choose another journal. We are going to try to match a mentor and a mentee according to interest or to research interest. So Beatriz, how can they contact you?
They should send us an email. I'm going to share our email in the chat box. And they should tell us what they are interested in. And if they want to be a mentee, it would be a great idea if they could also send a copy of their manuscript. So the idea is that you already have a manuscript. We can
Yes.
use it as a basis and to help you publish that manuscript. And we are going to, as Araceli put in her slide, we are going to walk the process with you, and hopefully at the end of this, you are going to be ready to be published. I'm writing the email address right now.
Yes, please. Okay. So what we are offering is, if you have a manuscript. Yes, Mohammed.
Yeah, about the title, is there any specific titles or?
No, but it has to be in relation with English teaching, and especially English as a foreign language. Yeah, because this is the EFLIS. Yeah, so it has to have some relationship or the intersection. Yes, but no, there is no. Yes, but also, so the writing mentoring is, if you have a manuscript, we cannot start writing with you. You already have to have a manuscript so we can start working with you. Express your interest, as Beatriz said, and I am sure she is writing her email address. Express your interest. Probably if you have experience, you can become a mentor. Yes, or you can be a mentee. Yes, and we are going to try to match them according to their interest, the research interest. We offer reading your article, reading your manuscript, and to have 3 personal sessions with the mentee, or the mentor and mentee, of course, 3 individual sessions, so that this mentor can give you some advice, some recommendations. Probably you can work with them. But you have to choose your journal, you have to read the guidelines, and you have to submit your manuscript. If you have any questions about this, let us know, please. We will be happy to answer your questions. Are there any relevant comments in the chat, Beatriz? Not yet?
Not really. They are asking if there's the possibility if we can have access to the presentation. Is something that we did not discuss, but we are going to have the video published in on Facebook and the EFLIS YouTube. So yeah, that will happen.
Okay.
And they are appreciating your insights. They say it's a very useful presentation.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, how can you start? Yes, remember we said that we are giving these, we are walking these first steps. First, go into the genre of your manuscript. As you're writing, there are different genres, different types of texts. Some journals accept of course, research articles, but there are also classroom experiences, probably a book review, essays. So look at the genre, look for samples of that, of the kind of text that you want to write. Yes, the register of your text. The register is to adapt your speaking, of course, but also your writing to the audience that the journal you have chosen addresses. Yes, be careful with your with the register of your manuscript. The manuscript or the register is how you adapt the vocabulary, the knowledge, the domain, the area in which you want to publish. Remember, as I said before, an article is not a thesis. There is a need to change, to adapt. I can tell you that sometimes I receive manuscripts even saying, this chapter, when it's an article, or this thesis, or even thanking their teachers, or there is a need to do some work with this. If you are in a postgraduate program, my recommendation is to turn your thesis, or especially your doctoral thesis, into 2 or 3 articles. Yes, I think sometimes people use the complete thesis in only 1 article, and probably that's why sometimes you need a mentor, because you can take advantage of all the work done for 2, 3, 4 years and only 1 publication. Yes, as I said, it's not only research questions. The teacher here, it's not only research articles. You can also see your and publish and record and keep insights on your classroom experiences. Teachers around the world like to read the similar experiences of the ones they are having in their classrooms, but how other teachers have gone through those experiences, how they have solved them, what solutions they have found. The organization, yes.
Araceli, if you let me add to that.
Yes, please.
Action research and the results of action research is being accepted more and more nowadays. So as Araceli said, talking about your classroom experiences is a great helpful for practitioners. And sometimes they are the ones that need to know more, that need more information and more problems solved in their classes. So action research is also a great possibility. Thank you, Araceli.
Yes, as a methodology, yes, because sometimes we think that only theory or writing academically is only theory, but exactly as you say, sometimes we implement an idea, we make a change in our classroom, and we have good results. Tell Tell us your story, your successful story. Yes, the organization, probably you have heard about this IMRD structure, introduction, methods, results, and discussion. Yes, you can Google that, and that is a way to help you in the organization of your article. Probably we can well, later I will send Beatriz a format, and you will, and if you write to Beatriz, I can give you some material also that is not here in this moment. Write incomplete sentences and paragraphs. I know that sometimes it's too obvious, yes, but it is not when you are writing. Complete sentences, simple sentences, just identify subject and verb and complement. I know that it should and should sound so basic, but sometimes I find that articles are structured in loose sentences. So make paragraphs. A thesis, an article is made of paragraphs, not loose sentences. The number of authors, yes, in most of the journals where I collaborate, probably 3, 4 authors is the maximum. And honestly, how many people can contribute to an article in our field? Yes, 3, 4 authors. Yes, and in some, I know that in some sciences, there are even 100 authors. Have you seen those science articles? But they include all people who have worked with the experiments, with manipulating substances, but we don't do that. Yes, sometimes we receive articles with up to 8, 9 authors, and you know that is not possible. So I would ask you to limit your collaborations to three authors. For me, 2, 3 authors is the ideal. Yes, of course, if there is work done by everybody, of course. Literature review. This is something important to mention. Of course, we have the classics, and of course, we can include our gurus in the profession, in the field, but they are only the classics. Most of your literature, most of your sources should be from about 2010. Yes, there is a place, there is a big place for those authors from the last century because they started doing research. But now there's a lot of research. Look for more recent sources. Yes, that is going to give your manuscript also a twist of a new novelty, and you will be learning a lot too. Yes, and of course, follow. My students are so afraid of these words. APA 7. Yes, follow the guidelines. If you don't know much about this, check for, let me write Purdue University APA workshop. Yes, check this place. They have this website. They have really good advice for people who want to publish. What are the reasons for rejecting articles? Why we reject articles? First, and the most important, articles do not follow guidelines of the journal. Yes, they don't read, authors don't read the guidelines. For example, in the journal and my university, they say that one of these demands is send your figures in a separate file. And guess what? Everybody sends everything in one file. And I said, why they don't read? Read this. You can even, oh, something important. You can always contact the editor. We are happy to help. If you don't understand something, ask questions. There is always a contact email address. You can always contact editors. You can always ask questions. We are happy. Why? Because without articles, a journal wouldn't survive. We need your articles. Think about that. It's not that we want to reject your articles. It's not that we are these mean people who just reject articles. No, we need articles. We need your articles, but we need them to follow the guidelines. Sometimes articles do not respect the standards of textuality, and textuality means what we saw: cohesion, clarity, objectivity, that situationality, all those standards that we have seen. Yes, sometimes we are reading and we don't understand, they are not coherent, or they don't have this originality element. They do not contribute. Yes, so sometimes we say, it's well written, but there is nothing new. What for we publish this? Sometimes articles have syntax, punctuation, spelling, typos. Probably a good idea, and that's why also we are offering you this mentoring opportunity, or being mentored opportunity, because it is so difficult to find a peer, to find a partner who reads your manuscripts. Sometimes we only have ourselves. In some places, people don't want to read what other people write. Probably, if you are interested, 2 or 3 teachers in your university, in your institution, are interested in publishing, you can create a group and you can read each other's text. We always find something to improve, something to change, but sometimes we don't have anybody. Yeah, so that's why we need a mentor sometimes. Proofread everything. Proofread everything you write. Sometimes the title does not match the content. And we see a title, and when we read, it's something different. Sometimes the article is good, but the articles do not match the focus of the journal. And we say, for example, to the Mestizo Journal, which is about English teaching and learning, sometimes they send literature articles. They do not match the objective of the journal. So then, even when they are well written, they are good enough, we do not accept them because that is not the objective, that is not the focus of the journal. Just read. Sometimes they say, that's why they say journal of pragmatics, journal of linguistics, journal of applied linguistics, not just because the journal is well positioned, it means that they are going to accept all kinds. They also have an objective. And of course, plagiarism. This is very, very important. I have some horror stories that I'm not going to tell you in this moment about plagiarism. Yes, now there, with the new tools, we can find many things. We can even find what people have written in the universities, but once it is on internet, it will always come up when we do this plagiarism check. Yes. Sometimes we understand that it's not the author's intention, but there are ways to avoid it. Yes, paraphrasing, giving the credit to the author. We always start with the idea that is not your intention, but it happens. Sometimes it is in the author's intention, of course, but we know that is not your intention, yes? And guess what? Sometimes authors do not make the corresponding corrections. We send corrections and they just get discouraged. They feel bad and they say, oh, they are telling me that I don't know how to write. And they don't make the corresponding corrections. They never send their articles back. We lose them. Sometimes it's frustrating because we take the time, editors take the time in reading your articles, in giving suggestions, giving recommendations, and they never come back. That is frustrating also for us. Just be perseverant, yes? And of course, authors do not send articles. If you don't send articles, you're not going to be accepted. You're not going to start this. So if you want to publish your work, this is just summarizing very quickly. Analyze the genre, choose your target journal, newsletter. Of course, we are promoting the Global Neighbors newsletter, books. Check the kind of articles published. Before you send your article, see before you send your article, visualize if your article belongs to that group of articles. Analyze the guidelines, make a checklist. Some journals even have those checklists. Get in touch, as I said, get in touch with the editor, with the associate editors. We will always welcome you. Submit your work, please. Wait for reviews and decisions. Be patient with the journal and with yourself. Why be patient? Most of the people who do this kind of work, they are volunteers. We don't get any money. Yes. So on top of everything, we review articles and we give recommendations. Why? Because we want everybody to have the same opportunities. Yes, for everybody. So be patient, be kind, be polite. Editors and reviewers in most journals are just doing volunteer work. Persevere with corrections. Keep going. If it is one sentence that you have more corrections, it's okay. It's always a learning process. Don't take it personal. People don't know you. Review. It's a blind process. They are not against you. Yes. I once received, how can I editing one article in the Mestizo journal. I was the editor, so I was the bridge between the editor, the author and the reviewer. And the author got very, very angry with the reviewer's comments, and they say, how can they tell me if I have been in the profession for more than 20 years? And I say, excuse me, they don't know you. They don't know who you are. They are just judging the words, the letters, the text. They are never judging you. Yes, they are judging a piece of paper, a text. And we all learn, we all have to learn. Yes, we all have something to learn and to improve. And of course, be proud of yourself. Whatever the result is, be proud of yourself. What to expect after submitting an article? I am going to tell you a little about this peer review process. For example, in my humble university journal, because it's only in Latinx, we are in Latin America. In Lenguas en Contexto, that is our journal. You can Google it, Lenguas en Contexto. My university is BUAP. I'm going to write in a minute. It is very simple. We receive articles. We have calls for publication twice a year. We receive the articles. We have a blind review process, and you get a decision. It's published. It can be published. It can be published with minor corrections. It can be published with major corrections. It cannot be published or rejected. Yes. We get those decisions. We respect them. We respect those decisions, and then we go through if they are accepted and authors make the corresponding corrections, we do a style process. That's okay. In the TESOL journal, as it is more international, and en lenguas en contexto, it's 6-8 months, the latest. Yes, the longest term to be published. TESOL journal, the process can take up to 2 years. There is a line of manuscripts waiting to be published. Everything in lenguas en contexto, you can get in touch with the editor, which is me. But in TESOL journal, everything is more mechanical, and sometimes there are many editors, there are many reviewers, and all over the world, and this process can take, as I said, more than 1 year, even 2 years, depending on the kind of manuscript you have. But it's very interesting, and it's very well recognized. Yes, if you are interested, you can also I can tell you how to send your manuscript. Of course, you have to read the guidelines for each one of the types of manuscripts. What about the Mentees journal? The Mentees journal has a very different approach to publishing. It is we call, or Joan Miller is the leader. She is very demanding, and she's very disciplined, and she knows a lot, and her intention is to help people around the world. But she always keeps an eye on everything that happens there. Yes, well, Beatriz can say she's also a reviewer and editor in the journal. We call ourselves a teaching journal. In here, the approach is different. If your manuscript is original and it has something to contribute, then it is accepted for evaluation. And it means that the reviewers in the Mentees journal are going to train people. Yes, and the review process can take even 8-9 rounds of feedback. Yes, the reviewer is never going to say accepted or not accepted. The reviewer is going to help you improve your paper. And the final decision is the editor-in-chief's. She makes the decision to publish or not to publish the article, because at the end there is a process. There is a style process, etc. So it's a teaching journal. Yes. Yeah, and also the publication process, if you go through all the stages and you are perseverant and you make your corrections, it might take probably more than a year, but it is very well recognized all over the world. It's in Scopus, it's in ERIC, it's in many indexes. Yes, so each journal, I am talking about the ones that I know, but each journal has a different peer review process. And well, you don't expect all journals to have the same process, to have the same length in this review process. All of them are different. The publication process. Yes, sometimes, I'm sorry, this has happened to everybody, I'm sure. The rejection, yes, or acceptance, yes. Never feel bad about this. All authors have gone through this rejection once. And I can say, yes, it happened to me last year or the year before. Yeah, in 2020, yeah, 2020. I sent an article. I went through all the process. And you know what? The editor's reviewer, the editor's decision was, your article is good, but it's not within the focus of the journal. And at the end of almost a year of the review process. But as I know how this happens, I say, okay, I thank the editor. Why? Because I learned a lot during the process. I chose another journal, I sent it, and it was accepted without, well, 2 or 3 corrections, of course, but it was accepted. So, oh, you always learn. We always learn. In this case, I am going to include myself. We always learn going through this process. As I said, where to publish your research. Yes, be careful with predatory journals. When you find a journal, find them, look at the editorial board. There must be names that you know, or there must be a contact email. That is something good when they have this contact, because you can always reach the person. If you cannot reach the person and you just submit, or you'd have to pay, be careful with those. Many journals many good journals do not ask for a fee. Why? For example, in the case of my university, because my university pays, and we are all working in the university. Yes, so they pay the rights. When you want to choose a journal, check in all these databases. Yes, if you find articles published by that journal in these databases, then you can trust that journal. Remember that there are 2 kinds of processes. It can be a refereed process, refereed article. That means that it's peer-reviewed, but also look for indexed articles. That's what the universities ask: refereed, peer-reviewed, and index, that they are in one of the recognized indexes. So just be careful, ask. I have seen in some on internet, do you recommend this journal? What do you think? And sometimes people say or tell their own experiences with that journal. You can take a picture here. These are some journals that are free. You can take a screenshot, or I am going to send this presentation to Beatriz. These are some journals that do not ask for a fee. They are not predatory. I have had friends, or I have friends in the board of these journals. Ready? Have you taken your screenshot, your picture? Because I am going to show another one. Just, can I?
Yes, go for it.
Yes, okay, the next one. This is another one. Oh, sorry. Anyway, I am going to send this presentation to Beatriz. Yes, and we are about to finish. So if you have some questions, look at these newsletters of Teachers Association. That is a good way to start. Ready? All of these are free journals, recognized journals. Okay. I hope that next time I see you, that next time we connect, you can tell me, I did it. We will be very happy to hear your stories. We will be happy, glad to know that you have reached your objectives. And well, that is what I have to say. Only to start this writing mentoring project that Beatriz and I have created. So if you are interested in getting a mentor, get in touch with Beatriz. We are going to try to match you, if you are a mentee, to try to match you with an appropriate mentor. You will get 3 sessions to talk about your article, but you need to have an article, you need to have a manuscript. Yes, thank you very much. And I will stop sharing. So if you have any questions, yes. Yes, no, thank you for your interest. Thank you for being here.
My dear Araceli, I have shared Google Forms in the chat for those people who would like to receive the information that Araceli has offered. She has just said very gently that she could share her presentation too. So please fill in the form so we can have your information, we can have your email address, and as soon as we have all these, we are going to share with you. Also, we would like to remind you that if you are interested in being a mentee or a mentor in this program, but especially a mentee, because the idea is that we want to help you publish. Please send us an email. I'm going to add the email address one more time for you to say to express your interest, saying, okay, I'm interested in being a mentee, and here's a copy of my manuscript, and we are going to get back to you as soon as we can. Dear Araceli, we have a question from Salma. She says, most of the journals you shared are peculiar to the field of language. Few of them are general in education, right?
No, they are for TESOL, ELT. They are in the ELT. Of course, there are some which are more general. That's why I say you need to check the kind of articles they publish. Many of them are special for ELT. Some of them are in education, of course, and some of them accept articles in English or in, well, because we are in Latin America, Beatriz and I, sometimes they accept in Spanish. For example, in Mentees journal, we accept articles in English and in Spanish. In Lenguas en Contexto, in my university journal, we accept articles in English, Spanish and French. Yes, and French, yes. But they have to be related to teaching languages.
Salma also asks if there is some journal information, like the type of journal and what the requirements are, if there are other details. I think you have talked about it, that you have to read the information in each journal.
Yeah, it's very different. Each journal, we cannot give you some general ideas, because I can, as I said, we share some specifications of academic writing, but each journal has different guidelines. So what you have to do is see what journals you are interested in, check the guidelines, go into it, read carefully, get in touch with the editor if there is something you don't understand. Yes, Salma, I see your hand.
Go ahead, Salma.
Hi, my question is that there are some recognitions of journals, like some say they are X journal, some say they are Y journal. There are some categories that I don't really understand. So how can I know that journals are authentic and recognized ones? So can you give us some information about recognized journals, please?
Yes, of course. As I said, yes, go into Google Scholar, for example, and find the journal there. Try to find the journal that you are interested or that you have seen. That is one step. If you find articles there, probably that is the first sign, only first. Second, go into the journal and check the editorial board information. Also, Google the editor-in-chief. Yes, Google the editors-in-chief, Google the reviewers, Google, for example, let me see if I can share, for example, one that is very recognized in, let me just open and I will share with you. One of these is, La CLIL, one of those. And now let me share with you. Wait. Where are you? I have lost you. Okay, yes. Can you see this, La CLIL? Can you see the journal? Yes, Beatriz?
ma'am.
Yes, okay, thank you. For example, La CLIL is a Colombian journal. And if I go to, you can see about the journal, and you see all the indexations, editorial team. Editor-in-chief, Darío Luis Vanegas. If you have been long enough in this profession, or you can even Google. Darío is a very, very recognized scholar in Latin America, but he is in the United Kingdom. So many people know him. He has edited many books in the profession, and you can see all the people here. Yes, that is a well-positioned, well-recognized journal. Go to the journal, check the indexations, check, let's go back here. All the people in this journal are recognized. This is my next target. Don't tell anybody. But I want to say about the journal. Look, here they have, this is the, and here you have the sections, the following types of submissions are considered, etc., etc. You always, in a good journal, you always find the information there. Yes, you will not make a mistake if you check who the editors are, who the reviewers are, if there is a contact, if you go to the databases, Scopus or ERIC, the one in which you are interested, yes, and you will find, of course, if the journal does not have a recognized scholar, and I don't mean famous, I just mean that you can find the scholar, the editor, and you can find 1-2 articles. That is enough to know that it's a serious journal. I mean, but that there is information that you can contact the person, that there is a person behind that name, behind that journal. If they are only asking for the money, if everything is so simple. Also, another one is when those journals who accept from all areas of knowledge. You can send articles from ELT, but at the same time, engineering, economics, mathematics. Please don't trust them. Yes, don't trust them.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, those can be some general recommendations. Explore the journal.
Do your homework.
Thank you. Thank you. Do your homework, right? Do your homework. Yes.
Do you have any other questions?
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Joan. Joan, thank you in Argentina. That's great.
Yes,
But
and I wanted to rescue the nice offering of Joan. Please send an email to us. Let us know what your interest is. If you want to be a mentee, also send a potential manuscript. If you want to be a mentor, we are going to try to find somebody that share your research interest.
And I think that is a very generous offer. Even experienced writers would use mentoring, for example. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yes, Mohammed, or I don't know.
Yes. Actually, thank you so much for very useful, engaging presentation. And oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I think. Yes.
Right. Okay. Also, thank you for Pongampai. Yeah, I think I got information from her Facebook post only. Pongampai. Okay, we are on Facebook, I think, connected. So I just want to ask you now. Actually, our DProf requirement. Actually, this is a doctorate professional practice. Okay, to complete this, there is 4 journals we need to publish. Okay, we need to publish related to TESOL. Okay, actually, and there is a dissertation separate. But these 4 journals now, I'm in first stage only. We just started. I just started January, so I don't have now any journal or something. Now, how I will keep in touch something now? Actually, these are useful. Maybe we have to find publisher, of course, to publish journals. 4 journals actually we need to publish in order to qualify. So,
Yeah, that is
but
yeah.
I would like to get a mentor also. It would be very useful for me. You know.
So
Write to
yes,
Beatriz, please.
exactly. Please
Yeah, I will
send
write to
us
them, but they are
an
asking
email.
manuscript.
And what we are going to do after this session, we are going to have a matching process, a mentor with a mentee, and then you are going to have individual sessions with with your mentor or your mentee. The idea is that we help you improve your manuscript, and hopefully you are going to be just ready to access the journal that you want to publish at, and you are going to publish. That's
Yeah, we
the
cannot
objective.
guarantee. Yeah, we cannot guarantee that you are going to be published, but mentors,
help.
we do
Yeah,
everything to help.
actually,
Yeah, of course.
yeah.
Yes, we cannot guarantee you that, but we can guarantee you that you are going to receive help.
Yeah,
Help,
this is great actually, because my first writing, it's going to my supervisor posted actually commonly. Okay, there is a writing opportunity, for example, article, but without funding something. So about mentoring. Okay, this is about mentoring. So I wrote already expression of interest. I'm the only one wrote it actually. He told, okay, most probably this will be my first writing with 3 legend actually. I'm the only one new. So this is apart from that, I think this 4 journals we need to, this is
wow.
separate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, we are about to finish, so just in case, I have shared in the chat box with you our social media accounts. So please follow us, give us a like, and you are going to get informed of all of these interesting ideas that we are going to be working on at the TESOL English as a Foreign Language interest section. I have copied again the form. Please fill in the form if you are interested in receiving this material. And I'm going to add again the email address of the EFL-IS, so you can get in contact with us and express your interest. I would like to say thank you so much to Araceli for sharing her brilliant knowledge, her brilliant experience. As she said, we are all here volunteers, and she sharing so much it's like a star. Definitely, it's a star. So thank you so much, Araceli. Thank you so much to all of you for making the effort and being here. We know it is not easy, but keep us in your radar because we have beautiful things for you. Yes. I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to say, Araceli. No? Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording. Yes, Araceli.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you, the EFLIS, and thank you each one of you present here. Thank you.